So Mark is actually again our table talk master, so I'd like to invite him back here.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, we're back. Now, our table topic portion is an opportunity for our speakers to speak off the cuff for 1 to 2 minutes. It would be similar to that of maybe a job interview, where someone might ask you a question about maybe a past experience, and you have 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to explain that. So it's really answering a question off the cuff, impromptu. The same thing if you were in an elevator, and there was someone in that elevator you always wanted to meet, and you had 30 seconds to get their attention. What would you say? These are skills we must learn and practice, because they don't just automatically come to us. And we want to be ready for the opportunity in the event that we are in that elevator with someone that we want to meet, and how we can strike the conversation up and let them know who you are. So really quickly, if I can get my timing constraints for our table topics, and Regina will stand and give us our timing constraints.
All right, so for the table topics, you have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. At 1 minute, you will get the green light. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you will get yellow. At 2 minutes, you have red, and your maximum time is 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, we're going to start with something kind of easy. And let me see, everybody has a role. And it's Dr. G, right? Just to let you know, the table topic portion of the meeting is open to guests. So if you choose to participate, you're welcome to just kind of do like that.
I would like to.
You like to go? Oh, awesome, awesome. So we'll start off with something that everybody can speak to. Let's go back. Sunny, our word of the day. It's Sunday and a sunny day, and you're ready to go. What are you going to do today? Take that, Dr. G. Just stand. You can either come up here or stand in your seat. Either way.
Okay. Actually, I didn't think that when I said I would go that I'm going to be talking about a subject which is sunny.
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to,
That's the point, yeah. So
okay.
you talk about a subject you don't know, but I try to make it kind of general so you can kind of.
Okay.
All right, so just stand. You can stay there if you want, or come on. Why don't you come on up, Dr. G? Come on up.
I mean that till she hits the red button, I can keep talking. Is that
Yes,
correct?
you can.
Okay. All right. I think I just love the word sunny, and because the weather is so sunny today, I decided to come here. That is the truth. I mean, I went to Kaiser, I completed my clinic early, and I came home and I told my husband, what do I do? And he just said, go to the Toastmasters. You've been wanting to go there. I said, I don't even know where this place is. He said, don't fear and just come. And so I'm here, and for me, the word sunny reminds me of my growing up in India in sunny Madras. It is a beautiful tropical town, very similar to Hawaii on the Bay of Bengal. And I had a very protected and a very privileged upbringing. And for that, I'm very grateful. My father was the head of the airline industry. My mother in those days was a brilliant psychologist. She was the queen of heart. And she gave me 2 important mantras that I'm going to share. And the first one was, always follow your passions. And the passions for me, even when I was a 3-year-old child, I knew was music and medicine. Music came first. And the next thing she told me is, they would all call me baby at home, and she said, if you follow a crowd, you will go no further than the crowd. But if you walk alone, you will find yourself in places that no one has ever been before. And that was the key for me. And because of that, I walked through the gates of Folsom Prison. I was hardly in my early 20s, already a doctor, already with all my specialty training. Amongst the violence and vengeance of Folsom Prison, I walked alone, I created a path and found my way, and I have learned that fear truly limits a person, and once it is overcome, you are truly free. And so the book that I've written is my journey to freedom. And the next time I come here, I will give you the books.
Very good. I love the Proverbs, and I really like that, just to let you know.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, how are we doing on time? We can do 2 more. Let's see. I'm thinking of something that's related to our weather today. Well, I'm going to go off script a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the March for Our Lives event. And most everybody in here have children. And even if you don't, you have, relatives, nieces, nephews, things like that. If your son, daughter, nephew, or niece were to come to you and say that your niece is, 5th grade. Auntie, I am scared to go to school because of bad guys. What would you do? Okay, Mr. Karl, man, he was ready for that.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. Dr. J, welcome again. Yep. So what would I do if that 5th grader, that child of mine, or that niece or nephew came and said, I'm scared to go to school, how should I do? And I would ask, have you had training in how to respond to an intrusion into the school? We know that there are various options open to you, so I would talk to the child about the options: sheltering in place, running, escaping if possible, and finally self-defense, only under the most desperate of circumstances. And indeed, I have had that discussion with my own children, because I have evolved as a parent, whereas I used to think that an active shooter situation or a similar calamity was an aberrant anomaly. I now prepare myself for the reality that I feel that it's quite likely that I, as a parent, will experience this at a school that one of my children is attending, because it's become such a common phenomenon. So we do need to prepare them psychologically. And what I would remind them too is the day that they stay home and don't go to school because of this violent activity in our community, in our culture, then the forces of evil will have prevailed over good. Thank you.
I believe, and I'm still in kind of the March for Our Life theme, I believe it was a week or so after students across this country decided to walk out of class for 17 minutes to honor the young people that died in Florida. As a result, some schools decided to suspend these students. What would you recommend a student do? Should you walk out, knowing you might get suspended or get in trouble? Or should you not walk out in protest? What advice would you give that 5th grader to do? Is that clear what I'm saying here? Just want to make sure. So if this 5th grader again came to you and said, well, we're going to march, but the school may suspend us, what's your advice to that 11-year-old? Son, daughter, niece, nephew. Anybody have any thoughts?
I have a question to whatever you're asking. When you say that the child will be suspended, I would ask no questions about that. What does it mean? I mean, are you going to be off school for 1 day, 2 days?
It was just an off school for 17 minutes. So just the fact that these kids are walking off campus for 17 minutes.
No.
Oh, what the suspension
what
is?
Was the suspension?
Let's just say 2 or 3 days. There's a suspension involved, a couple days where if you do this, there's a penalty, there's a cost to do it. So let's say a couple of days.
I think I have some thoughts on that.
Sure. Hold that thought. I just want to see if we have any more volunteers. Yeah, come on, odds. You want to try, Regina? No, Audrey. All right. We're about.
All right. So my first thought is, as you were posing the question, I think I would be inviting that student in my life to consider how strongly they feel. If they feel strongly enough that they are willing to step out of the class to take a stand and make a point, I think if they're committed to that, then the suspension would be something that they were able to accept, I guess. If they were going because Susie and Betty are going out the door, then they might want to think about whether it's worth the suspension for that. But if they feel strongly enough about the cause, I think that I would support them in their choice. The thing that I think I'm struggling a little bit is, I guess partly because I view it through the lens of my kids being in high school, I don't think about a 10-year-old or somebody of that age necessarily getting suspended for walking out of class. I would think that, well, at least locally, the high school that my kids go to, they decided to make a concurrent, kind of like a rally. And the kids could walk out and go to, it was either a place on campus on the field, or if it was raining, because I think it was rainy around that time, they could go to the gym. And the idea was to have a forum for people to share their thoughts, and I know that it got discussed a bit in my daughter's Spanish class, and I think that the realistic thing was probably that people do have strong feelings about this, and that they do have things they want to say, and at least not everybody, but at least a few, and giving them an opportunity to express themselves is probably better than trying to quash it and say you have detention or you're suspended, because that really gets in the way of learning. But like I said, I would invite them to reflect on how strongly they feel, and is it worth it to you? Because I'll support you either way as long as you're committed to what you're doing. That's, I think, my answer.
Okay, we are good on time, and Dr. D, just to let you know what, the goal was to try to get everybody an opportunity to speak, so don't think I did not pick you up.
Yeah, no, I understand.
We're going to go ahead and conclude our table topics for today. I'm going to call upon Regina to give a timing report for our table topic contestants.
Sure. So for Dr. G, your actual time today was 2 minutes and 11 seconds, so you were within the maximum time limit. Karl, you had a final time of 1 minute and 28 seconds, so also within limit. And Tracy, your time came in at 2 minutes and 16 seconds, which is under the maximum.
I want to thank everyone for participating in our table topics for today. And I'm going to turn control back over to our Toastmaster in Chief, Mr. YG.
Thank you, Mark. Now, those are some good topics there. I know mine was the sunny day was a little more bringing up the items that